Welcome, welcome, beautiful women of the world. My name is Dr. Angelika Christie, and I am your host of the show, Your Radiant Life After 45, a show for women who want more from life, who are not done living yet, who want to uplift their life. They want to be healthier, happier, fit, abundant, and know what is in store in during the second part of their life, because that second part is so important. It is really, I call it your freedom years, when you do not wear all of those hats anymore. The have-tos, the must-do. The freedom years start around after 45, 50 and later, because now it's our time. And so many women don't know what to do with this. But if you're with me every Saturday, we discuss themes that will help you not only have new ideas, but also connect with other women, because this is a live show. And sometimes there are many other women in the waiting room, waiting for the second part where we have a conversation and you can ask questions. Okay, so heroic self-love. If you know me, you know that heroic self-love is a theme that goes through all of my teachings. The self-love platform or the self-love blueprint is so misunderstood, but it is so important. But anyway, we want to be loved. We crave love because our essence is love. And when you find something that is in alignment with your essence, then you can attract everything that is there available for you. And so it is not happening with loving things or loving others. It starts with self-love, because you are a divine being. You are a child of God. You're a child of the universe. You are unlimited. And we are so occupied with all of the things, with all of the material things, with all of the musts and have-tos and expectations, and even our own, that we very often forget what is life really about. So if my essence is love, and love is the greatest power in the universe, then I want to align not only my inner life, but my outer life with the energy of love. It's a frequency, it's a language, it's a color, it's a sound, it's a whole symphony. Okay, so really from birth until our last breath, we search for love. We search for happiness that love should bring us, right? It's usually a very attractive package, and we chase this because we think we can find it somewhere. Oh my God, I want to find my soulmate. I want to find the love of my life. I want to find the one. But then we also understand that life is a big schoolroom. Yes, love is our destination. It was our beginning. We came from love. So there is a natural tendency to want to experience love. But then life happens, right? And when you say that you want to be happy, are you prepared to let go of everything that stands in the way, that makes you unhappy and keeps you searching and keeps you wanting? So the quest for happiness is really not so much finding it outside, but it is an internal journey of discovery who you really are. And I would like to share a personal story with you here. Can I do that? Okay. I never forget that moment when my father held me in his arms. He looked deeply into my eyes and said, Angelika, live from the power within you. It can never be threatened. Soon thereafter, he died unexpectedly. And I was angry with God for a very, very long time for taking my father away from me. I adored my father. He was my hero. So I forgot what he told me, but later on I remembered and I started to understand it more and more. It actually took decades until I fully realized the value of what he wanted me to know. Live from the power within you. It can never be threatened. So where do we find this power? That power that is so, that cannot be threatened. Like my father said, it cannot be threatened. Well, that power cannot be found in your head. That power does not reside in your mind. Your mind does not know who you are. Think about that. Your mind doesn't know who you are. It is your soul, yes, your soul, that holds the blueprint for your authentic and uncompromised life. But how can you access that knowledge? How can you access your soul? There is a real and immediate access. It is available, and I have discovered it, and I call it through my inner hero. So let me share another story that shows you how this came to me. I will never forget that morning. I had a restless night. I had a torturous night. And I went out on a beach walk, talking to myself. Don't we often do that when we are in some kind of distress? And I was arguing with confronting forces within me. The lower force that urged me to return to the safety of my comfortable life at home after having spent more than 35 years in the health and healing business. And the other impulse was to step out more and bring my mission out into the world in a much bigger way. I remember the desperation I felt and that pressure, that anxiety, the angst. And I cried out to God to send me an unmistakable sign of what he wants from me. I remember my heart felt as if a steel blade had pierced it. I felt like dying. And the pressure came from my family and my friends and everybody else who said, you know, Angelika, you did so much. Why don't you don't need to work. Why don't you just retire? But there was that power within me, that desire, that passion that knew I wasn't done yet. Maybe you remember moments like this in your life. So I was at a crossroads in my life. And that pain in my heart. But then all of a sudden, everything changed. It felt like a wave of exquisite love and gentleness flooded my entire body. My heart felt as if it was held in the invisible hands of God. I remember that I fell on my knees and I sobbed. I don't know if it was joy or just such a release, something extremely emotional happened within my body, my mind, my heart. And then, as if from a place that I can only call deep inside of me, my soul, there rose an image of two powerful, well, two images, because there were two powerful horses. That image of those two powerful horses, I never forget. One was a black stallion, and the other was like a Pegasus, a mare with silver wings, enormous wings. I don't know why, but I felt that the horse was a battle horse, and that the silver mare, the silver-winged mare, was like an angel or my higher self, as part of my soul. And I remember that I got that instruction from my inner self to embrace the power of each of those images, representations, because they were part of my soul. So I called them my inner hero, because the love and the authority that exuded from this inner hero that had two parts opened my capacity to understand and embrace myself. You see, that's where the self-love was ignited. And I remember I would call upon the battle horse, that part of my hero, the black stallion, to give me courage and confidence. For example, to ask what I wanted. And the white, the winged one, the silver-winged horse, I called upon that part of my hero, of my inner soul self. When I needed clarity, a greater vision, or physical and emotional healing. The guidance and the wisdom that came from my soul in the image of my inner hero in those two parts inspired a whole new teaching for me. And if you like, I'm going to send you because I did a meditation, because you have your inner hero too. The image will look different for you. But my mission has been, and even stronger after that epiphany on the beach so many years ago, my mission has been to connect women with their inner hero so that they find their way back to themselves. And the process is through heroic self-love. And it is part of my teachings, my workshops, my home study courses, and transformational retreats that I hold in the Bahamas and in other places. I have been, not since COVID though. And now I'm taking it into a new venture that I start, and you are invited because we are soft launching it on the 13th of February, the Golden Life Community, virtual platform where women 55 and over can come together to experience that themselves as love, as power, as wisdom, and collaborate. I'm not going to talk about this here, but I just want to mention it because you are also invited to the 13th when I also talk about heroic self-love, and the rest of the team will be there to show you what the Golden Life Community, the Golden Connections, Global Golden Connections Collective, what this is all about. So what still? There is only, sometimes people say, yes, I know I should love myself, but it's just a concept. What does it mean? And the brain, when the brain doesn't understand what something means, it will dismiss it, right? So when you explore your own soul self, maybe with the help of your inner hero, you will peel layers and layers of the outer illusions, the old stories, the limitations, the limiting beliefs, all of that you will peel away. And then it's the awakening of who you are, through your heart's longing to experience yourself as love. Because that's your essence. That's where you came from. And that's the dream. And it is also reality. Even when so many don't realize it and disbelieve or discard it as selfish. It's not selfish. So why heroic self-love now? Because the world needs you to step into your full power. We are talking about women here, women, matured women. We are called and you are here. You can hear me because you are alive and you are probably middle-aged. And you are here, you have incarnated into this lifetime at this time of tremendous shifts and changes in world history for a reason. So the world needs you to step into your full power. I believe that women are the pillars of a new consciousness and need to lead the world into fearless cooperation and peace. And we women are so much better at that, at community and collaboration and connection. We must create peace. What stands in its way? Fear. Fear is the most destructive force on earth. And as we all know, I mean, if you don't watch the news, congratulations, because it will just overwhelm you how destructive fear is. This force on earth, and it's on the rise. And the antidote of fear is love. So it's like the dark forces. There is so much darkness that it's up-leveled now, up-leveled because it becomes more visible. And we cannot fight darkness. We can only bring light into the darkness so that darkness doesn't have a place to exist. And love is the most powerful energy in the universe. So don't you see that love is a great healer? Can you see that self-love then, if love is the healer, we so often say, if we love enough, we can heal. Yes, healing and love are the same. But can you then also accept that self-love restores and heals the self, your original self, the self whose essence is love, but whose love has been scattered and distorted and pierced by so much doubt and fear? But let me ask you this. Do you find it easier to love somebody else than to love yourself? Especially we women have that. We are almost trained to love others more than ourselves. Yes? I believe so. But why is that? Because we can actually love a part of somebody. We love that part of somebody, the lovable part. And, and we feel good about that. We are pleased. But it doesn't work that way when it comes to ourselves. Unless you fool yourself in believing that you can hide parts of yourself from yourself. And yet we do it all the time by keeping the parts of ourselves that we don't like so much locked away and hidden. You want me to give you an example how that may look? Imagine a room in your house that you don't want to enter. I don't know what that room will be, but it's the room that you don't want to enter, and absolutely you don't want anybody else to enter it. So you lock it with 3 locks. You may even want for security in front of the door. For fear somebody may stumble into it and discover whatever, the chaos, the garbage there. the garbage that you have accumulated. What garbage is that? Negativity. Yes, negativity, the judgments, the blame, the guilt, the regrets, the lies, the doubts, the illusions, the shame, and on and on and on. You recognize any of those? Oh, yes. Better keep that room locked down and out of reach. Yes? But it's there. And you worry about it because you're afraid, and God forbid, somebody else, you're away from home and somebody finds it and discovers it. And so you cannot really be fully yourself. You're always hiding something. You are fractured. Do you see this now, how this relates to you? Because we get used to wearing masks that hide parts of ourselves that we fear may make us unlovable. Can I ask you something? Yes? I want you to be honest and also watch for not wanting to go maybe there where I'm trying to take you. That's okay. It's not a test. It's just an awareness exercise. So here are the questions. Have you been told by your mother to love yourself first? If so, congratulations, you're blessed. How many of you were told by your teachers to love yourself first? I don't remember that from my teacher. How many of you grew up in a religious faith that taught you to love yourself first? The religion I grew up said self-love is a sin. How many of you grew up in a society that taught you to love yourself first? A whole society. And when I ask this, because I have clients from all over the world, the women who said yes, they were mostly from the East, from India, from Bangladesh, more from the Eastern religions than the Catholic ones, for example. So I believe that most of us women grew up believing that we had to love others first and behave in a certain way so that we would be lovable. Have you not been advised to fit into identities that defined you in a certain way, like the perfect daughter, the perfect student, the perfect wife, the perfect mother, if you chose to have a family? And then maybe even if you're a mother at the same time, still find a job that pays some of the bills. Yes? It's normal. It seems to be normal. Yet it leaves you wondering what comes next. What is the next role and identity that you slip into that still hides who you really are? So don't you think that it's time to discover your true identity, what you really are, who you really are? I believe that the time has come to embrace the full beauty and awesomeness that is your true self. So can you imagine how heroic self-love honors you in your wholeness and liberates you from outside authorities that constantly try to manipulate your mind in all ways of directions for their own purpose, to buy this, to do that, not good enough for that. I mean, you know it, you know the whole gamut of it. And let me make this statement so you don't forget it. And maybe you repeat it whenever you doubt. Self-love is not selfish, but self-healing. It is self-empowering. It is self-remembering, because this is your essence. Your essence is love. And when you remember that through self-love, there is no greater discovery than that. This mostly dormant power within us must be awakened, and it must be awakened in all women so that we can heal ourselves, our relationships, our families, our communities, and on a larger scale. Because if we start with ourselves, it ripples out. We heal the world and bring peace, freedom, joy, and abundance into a new world that is about to be born. And this is probably why you feel this additional pressure. There is a lot of energetic pulse and shifts, and yeah, it's going on in the world. And it's like a very difficult, laborious birth, laborious, I think, not laborious, laborious birth of a child. But rather than taking hours, it may take decades, at least years. But you are here now, and there is a reason for that. You are the doula. You are called to help birth not only yourself, your true self, but also help humanity and the earth to do the same. So, do we have established that your inner hero represents your soul self and therefore is your most incredible, wisest, and most loving support for anything you need or want? Yes? Can you envision this? Can you at least consider that your soul knows you and your life's purpose beyond your mind's understanding? Yes. Your soul also knows the cure for any ailment you may experience. It knows the cause and remedy. How do you access this tremendous power? And here is the last, we only have time to give you the last tip, how to access that power. You must become still and listen. Your mind shouts, monkey mind. You must become still because your soul whispers. Therefore, you have to dial down the noise and your busy mind and the outside distraction, shut off all electronic devices so that you can hear this, the voice of your soul. And then you want to amplify that voice. You might not remember that self-love came naturally to you when you were a little child. You were pure, you were incorruptible, you were fearless, just like your soul. But you are still this divine child. That still is within you. It is hidden under layers and layers of pain and old wounding and all the garbage that the world threw at you. All of us experience wounding, but you can choose heroic self-love to heal every part of your fractured self and return to wholeness. You can heal your body, you can heal your mind and relationships, you can heal your life. I know it because I have experienced it. Heroic self-love enables liberation from everything that is not you. Why is that important? Because when you cannot fully express yourself as you feel fractured and even tormented. You have this precious life to live, this very important lifetime. Don't squander it. This is your life. This is about you. It has always been about you. You are heroic self-love. That love is you. I know because I am heroic self-love. That love is me too, and we are the same. So what if today is that day when you decide to reclaim your heroic self-love through your inner hero? Yes, it is your destiny to be a warrior woman and maybe even an illumined leader. The world may not know you like that yet, but your soul knows, and God has called your name. And that's why I'm passionate about sharing this with you, because I have a bigger reason. I am not done yet. And love is my heroic love is the driving force for my passion to ignite this within every woman I come in contact with. And of course, the entire world, because we ignite lights within each other and become brighter and bring the light into the darkness. Yes? Thank you for your time. I loved sharing this with you. And please remember, your essence is love. Yes? And come back next week, because I want to continue this conversation. We are not done with this yet. So come back for more about love. And if you celebrate Valentine's Day, then do something, amplify your love within you and maybe with all the other people that you can bring into your circle. And don't forget, the 13th of February, just the day before Valentine's Day, you are invited to participate in the launch of our platform, the Golden Life Community, Golden Connections. This is where we can do all of this incredible work, can support each other. I have to stop this now here. Come back next week. Bye-bye for now.